Dynamics 365 for government contractors includes customizations to make Dynamics CRM, the sales portion of Dynamics 365, contain all the data elements that you need to successfully manage your sales efforts in the public sector. Government contractors need much more than just out-of-the-box Salesforce automation. They also need to take advantage of online information services regarding federal solicitations. They typically have a complex proposal creation process that may involve teaming partners, coaches, other outside experts that are brought in, and the sales process itself can be quite complex depending on what the government program is. Some government contractors need to integrate their suppliers to put together bills of materials and quotes, and government contractors need to be sure that they can manage contracts after the sale to ensure that they're complying with the terms and conditions that are outlined in each of those government solicitations and contract awards. What we've done with Dynamics 365 is take the data elements that are used in sources such as FedBizOps and GSA Advantage, FPDS, the Federal Procurement Database System, and others to add those data elements. We've also incorporated a structured sales process like the Shipley model that many government contractors use, and created a series of steps that walk you through the procurement process from the beginning of targeting agencies to identifying opportunities at early stages to creating your proposal, and then all the way through post-award into contract closeout. The way that I look at it is we have 3 layers to the solution. The first core layer is Dynamics 365, Microsoft's product that was formerly called Dynamics CRM. It contains a number of features that are being continually enhanced by Microsoft, such as a workflow engine, mobile apps, adaptive support for browsers, the ability to deploy it on premises or in the cloud, patching for security requirements, all these features that are important for us as government contractors. The next layer is what I'm going to be showing you today, InfoStrat's solution for GovCon, where we've added the data elements, the workflows, the business processes for a typical government contractor. That means things like teaming agreements and what kind of an opportunity it is, whether it's got a special set-aside characteristic that constrains who can bid on it. Also the idea of roles of people who are on the pursuit and opportunity scoring. And then the third layer is client-specific customizations. You can tailor the solution for your particular needs so that it matches the way your business operates. Not every government contractor follows all of the steps that are outlined in the Shipley structured method. Many of them use fewer, or they refine what those processes are, what the gates are, depending on what kind of a government contractor they are. If you are a weapons system manufacturer, that's very different than selling IT services. Or if you're a reseller, the nature of those transactions is also different than bidding on a large multi-year program. It's much more transactional. So without any further PowerPoint, I'm going to plunge right into a demo. Right now is Dynamics 365. If you've used Dynamics 365, you'll notice many of these are familiar elements, such as tracking accounts and contacts. But many of them are unique to the GovCon solution, such as awards and the way that we track reviews and proposals. I'm going to start at the very heart of the solution, which is the opportunities themselves. So I'm looking at opportunities that are currently open, and you can have as many views of these opportunities as you would like, such as opportunities with proposals that are due this month, or closed opportunities, which means ones that have either been won or lost. You can have system views that all your users see, and also you can have personal views. So I can put in ones that I really care about based on my role in the organization. I'm going to drill into an opportunity so that we can take a look at the elements of the screen and some of the data that we're tracking here. At the top, we have a ribbon that shows us the phases in the capture effort. These are customizable. You can configure them to show as many stages as you would like to track using your structured sales process. So in the first phase, we've got identifying an opportunity, then assessing that opportunity, which is when you would do a scoring for the first time of that. Right now, on this opportunity, we're in the capture execution phase, where we are planning out who is going to be working on this, who the sales team is, and assembling the proposal team. Then after that, we've got proposal development and post-submittal activities. You can have more than one of these business process flows. For instance, you might want to have a shorter one for a quick quote. If you have some opportunities that come to you that are not competitive, and a customer comes and asks for a very simple quote or a mod, you don't need to have that go through all of the steps that you might follow if you were going through a new capture for a brand new opportunity. So these stages are in a business process flow, and you can advance through them based on filling values in fields. As you move through the process, the fields that are relevant to that particular stage in the business process flow are going to be shown right underneath that business process flow ribbon. The sections on the form are collapsible, so we can show and hide different sections. In the summary, we've got some of the key information, such as the name of the opportunity. Perhaps we have an acronym to refer to it in shorthand, what role our company is playing, whether we're a sub or a prime, or sometimes it's to be determined later. Base, period of performance, option years. Top 10 opportunity allows the management and other sales professionals to take a quick look at a dashboard and see where we stand with the top opportunities. We've got what life cycle it's in, which corresponds to the business process flow. And we've got a number of other profiling questions about what type of a vehicle it is, or what type of an opportunity it is. Is it a recompete? Where did it come from? We can also set up our bid and proposal budget here and establish what a charge code is if you use charge codes for opportunities in your timesheets. Dynamics 365 has integration with Microsoft SharePoint, which you can use either internally with your intranet or externally on your extranet to allow your teaming partners to collaborate with you and share documents. You can post documents directly to SharePoint from here in Dynamics 365. And that's a very handy way for you to collaborate with your teaming partners. We also have some checklists that we complete as we move through the sales process, such as doing all the steps for bid and no bid. And we've got some key dates, our assessment of the probability of win, and we can put in our rationale for how we've determined that. And we've got a number of narrative sections here that would get filled out during this process for what our win themes are and our value proposition. The customer information is being stored here in Dynamics 365. This means that you can do a report on all of the opportunities you've pursued with the customer. Some of our clients also keep track of their competitors and the wins that they've had so they can see who the predominant contractors are within a particular account. You can use this information to generate emails, such as online newsletters, notifications to customers. Perhaps you're even hosting your own webinars. There's a third-party product called Click Dimensions that lets you integrate with GoToWebinar and also with Eventbrite for in-person activities. That's what we're using for this webinar today. We also have quite a few dates and milestones. We've taken these, as I mentioned before, from a typical procurement process. Some of these may be more than what you would want to track, and you can hide these or even delete them from your solution. This represents a superset of what most government contractors need, and you can also add your own dates. By tracking these dates, you can go back and do analysis to reveal how long your pursuits have typically taken, which could show some patterns that would be helpful for your sales planning. If we pulled this solicitation off of a website or off of GovWin, we'll also store what was posted on that solicitation. And then we can go through the building up the level of effort and the pricing. We can capture that here. Quotes are an optional section. If you were bidding on products that you were reselling, you would often use quotes to capture the bill of materials and all of the line items. There is a quoting engine here, and Dynamics 365 offers integration with their accounting modules, which are called Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations. There are two versions of those products, one which is Enterprise Edition and one which is a Business Edition. They include ERP and pretty extensive product catalog capabilities. So you could lean on those optional products that are integrated as well. This is where we keep track of the people who are participating in this capture process: proposal manager, solution architect, if that's relevant. Perhaps we have a recruiter. And similarly, we can keep track of our writers and also assignments to those writers. Lead scoring is where we enter our assessment of that opportunity. This is something that many customers will configure based on the way that they look at opportunities. This one is set up on a scale of 1 to 10 so that we can ask questions like our prior relationship with the customer, incumbency, what is the lead time, how does our past performance map to this. You can take these numerical ratings and roll them up, and you can use these in your bid, no bid meeting to help frame the discussion. We track all the mods. You can do risk analysis, and Dynamics provides a place for all of your users to track their action items. So you can assign tasks to people, such as phone calls, reviews, recruiting, other kinds of action items, appointments, track all your meeting logs. Often we'll use Microsoft's team sites or other online collaborative spaces for those calls. Okay, so I am going to just check and see if we have any questions. Feel free to chime in or type them into the question panel. I know this is quite a bit to show here on the opportunities, and if you've looked at Salesforce or Dynamics 365 out of the box, you'll recognize that most of these data elements are not there if you purchase a Salesforce automation product out of the box like this. Okay, so let's take a look at the accounts and the contacts. Dynamics has a concept of record ownerships. That means that you can segment your accounts into groups and have those records belong to different people. If, for instance, you tracked DoD and civilian agencies differently and you assign them to a different manager, you can create this ownership, and that way the accounts that that person owns only shows up under their active organizations. You can also build the hierarchy of your account. This one is obviously not complete, but you can set up the relationships among the accounts, so you can walk the tree of the agencies and sub-agencies. You can also show for each of these agencies who the contact people are. So you can look at relationships, you can look at contact people. So here we've got a contact person at Department of Homeland Security. You can also track the relationships that you have with people, such as people who move from one agency to another. Okay, I do have some questions. Do we need Dynamics CRM? Yes. This solution is built on top of Microsoft Dynamics 365. So you do need Dynamics 365. There are several editions of Dynamics 365. Currently, there is a promotion for the Business Edition, which is $40 per user per month for up to 50 users. And the Enterprise Edition is $95 per user per month. If you have an enterprise agreement with Microsoft or a large number of users, you also are entitled to volume discounts. On the InfoStrat website, we have a cost calculator that shows the various editions and how much they cost. So here, if I had just this sales portion and I had 20 users, this is the not discounted price per month. Government contractors may be eligible for the Microsoft Government Cloud. That is manned only by U.S. citizens, and it meets FedRAMP and FISMA requirements. FedRAMP information is available on the FedRAMP website, and they show what the latest certifications are that Microsoft has. My next question is, we are currently using in-house Dynamics CRM. So this solution would install into your in-house Dynamics CRM. You can use this hosted by Microsoft or hosted on premises. There's no requirement for it to be in the cloud. There's a question, can you show how we would modify, hide certain choices in the process flow listing? Yes. So let me show a couple of ways that you can do customizations. Now, this behavior that I'm going to show you is standard to Microsoft Dynamics 365. You can find videos that demonstrate this if I don't show you enough to convey it. But one way to do it, if you have the right permissions, is on any of these forms, you can click on the form editor. What this is going to let us do is hide, move, show fields. So I'll show you a couple of ways in which you do that. So an administrator that can modify the solution, they can drag and drop fields. This is the form editor, and it shows the sections. So I can collapse and expand on those sections, and I can drag items and drop them onto that grid. You can also create brand new fields. If you've got some data that you capture about your customers or your opportunities that we did not think of, you can create as many fields as you want. You can just name them, pick what field type it is, save it, and then add it straight to that form. Now, the question was originally about showing and hiding choices in the process flow listing. So processes can be triggered in a couple of different ways. They can be triggered automatically based on changes that you make somewhere. They can also be triggered manually. So if I go into customizations, again, as an administrator, I can make these changes to the solution, and that includes all of the workflows in the business process flows. So here under processes, you can see I've got some business process flows here. So this one, opportunity sales process, I can go into edit mode on that, and you can see that these are the steps that I'm showing in that business process flow. I can add new steps. I can add conditions so that they branch. I can break them into smaller steps. I can also make them call each other. Another example is a workflow. So this is I'm going to call it a smaller action. It's just one event that's being triggered. And a workflow might be something like a notification, or in this case, what we're doing is creating an activity record. So this one is on gate review, create an activity record, and send an email. And we get an email editor here that lets us determine what's going to be in the body of that email to notify someone that it's time for them to do something. So it's very similar to mail merge capability. You can use all the fields that are in the system to evaluate and to create these processes. I've got a couple of other questions. Is this add-on to in-house Dynamics CRM like a plugin? So what we're looking at is what Microsoft calls a solution. And a solution consists of customizations. So if I look at my solution, I've got one that is for my sitemap, and I've got the GovCon solution itself, and I've got another one which is to do FPDS and FedBizOps searching. A solution can contain many different customizations that affect your Dynamics instance. So that's what it is. Thank you for all these questions. I do love it when I get some questions. And feel free to keep adding more questions to that list. Or if you want to unmute yourself and ask, that's also fine. Okay. Our goal with the solution was to keep track of the entire process. And so what happens after you win a proposal, it becomes an award. And here in the award, we need to capture the relevant information about the value, the period of performance, the place of performance, and other information, such as what type of a contract it is. So these award fields, they can be very helpful for you to create reports later on, so that you could characterize what kind of awards you've been winning. And you could also build some charts and dashboards. So let me show you what I mean by that. Here in the GovCon dashboard, we've got some charts that show us some of the top things that I care about, like the top 10 opportunities that I mentioned. We've got some that have been tagged by our salespeople that these are the must-win opportunities. They're really important for us. And you can see there's a graph that shows them, but I can drill into this. So now I can see my users have only tagged 6 opportunities in the top 10, but I can see them here, and I can click directly from that graph. I can drill down and see the opportunity itself. So if I have questions about this opportunity, I'll know what's going on. You can see that this one has gone through the bid, no bid, black hat review, phase 3 pricing review, and we filled in quite a bit of information. This one's a little bit further along than that last one that I showed you. Another great dashboard is the funnel. Everyone loves a good sales funnel. So here we've got the funnel, and you can see that we've broken them down into where they're sitting in that process. And if I click on the funnel, it will apply a filter to show me only the opportunities that are at that stage of the procurement. And again, I can drill into those opportunities. So that's very handy. And here under scheduled activities, these activities are things that, these are tasks for myself. You can have all kinds of dashboards. So if you were to segment your business by DoD and federal civilian or state and local government, then you can customize those dashboards. This one for federal civilian is only showing opportunities that are from federal civilian. And similarly, activities, I can see activities that are assigned to me, or I can see activities that are assigned to other people. There may be a scenario where I would want, as a manager, to go in and assign other people on my team to do outreach or to investigate an issue relating to a proposal or a scheduled meeting. Some of the activities are phone calls, tasks, appointments. There is integration with email and with Outlook from Dynamics 365. So you can have these appear on your Outlook calendar and also on your task list inside Outlook. Here I've got a chart that's showing me the number of activities by the date that they're due. Looks like we had some very busy demo activity back in July of 2017. And we can generate new activity records right here from the toolbar. Well, we'd love to get your feedback on the solution. We'd love to get your feedback on the webinar. I hope you'll reach out to me and contact me. Again, we've got quite a bit of information out here on the blog, blogs.infostrat.com. And if you search for GovCon, you'll find, I don't know, a dozen or 15 articles about the solution, such as how to track task orders or how does SharePoint fit in. So I do appreciate everybody joining, and I look forward to talking to you in the future.